Hello, my little ferrets. We're here in Las Palmas, Gran Canaria. This is one of the Canary Islands, as you've probably gathered. Stay with us. There's loads to see here. We're going to learn lots of dark history about Columbus, about Francis Drake. Neither of these people particularly good people. This is what we're going to learn here. And we're going to learn, what's here to see. We're going to learn some cool facts. And I'll tell you what, these buildings are stunning. All right, you get a chance to come to Las Palmas. If you come to Gran Canaria, you have to come here. All right, so this historic center, this area is called Vegueta. Okay, make a pilgrimage. Get here on a bus. You've got to have a walk round. Now, this square here is Plaza del Cortado. Okay, Cortado as in the little small coffee, Spanish coffee. And it's just next to the Cathedral of Santa Ana. Okay, Santa Ana Cathedral. We're going to learn a bit more about that too. But as we walk along here, and I gaze upon your smiling faces, it reminds me, by the way, that what a lovely family feeling we have with our subscribers here. And interestingly, did you know that we are all related? And I don't mean in some really weird, distant way. There's a book, All Relative. It's written by A.J. Jacobs. Interesting story. He tried to create a gathering of as many cousins as he could. And in the process, he discovered that everyone on the planet is related to each other no more than a 17th cousin. So that means each of you are related to each other and to me. Maybe you're a 3rd cousin, 5th cousin, 12th cousin, maybe a 17th cousin. But it'd be no more than that. It's kind of freaky, isn't it? Also wonders why I don't get more birthday presents. Anyway, what's this in front of us? This, my friends, is Casa de Colón. Pretty beautiful. This is the back end of the building. Okay. Casa de Colón means House of Columbus, not House of the Colon. Okay, nothing fishy goes on there, honestly. And this is where he stayed while he was making repairs to his ship. We'll learn a bit more about that later. At the front, got the San Antonio Library, and it's the birthplace of Alfredo Kraus, who's a famous tenor. Well, we're heading down here because I just want to show you the Atlantic Center of Modern Art. Tell you what, you have to go in here. It's free. Now look, this one, ovine condition, like professional portraits of sheep, treating them like celebrities. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Like, they're all so individual. And then the Egyptians, the suit makes the man. See just how changing someone's appearance completely affects how we think towards them, how we judge them. And there was another one too, more about portraits really, it was about belly buttons. That was, I didn't get a chance to photograph it, but I wish we had. Okay, really surprising. All the different stomachs, of all of people's stomachs and belly buttons. Very off-putting. Anyway, if you come here, pop in there, it's free. But here, we're back here, just look at that doorway. Absolutely beautiful. The square we're in is called New Palace Square, or Plaza del Pilar Nuevo. And this little statue here, which you might be inclined to pat or sit next to, it's a sculpture of Nestor Alamo Hernandez. So he founded the library here. And he was the director of the Casa de Colón Museum. Quite a clever guy. He was a composer, he was a lawyer, he was a writer. Kind of like me, really. Many, many skills and facets. A real Renaissance man. The steps, this is the back end, by the way, of the cathedral. We'll learn a bit more about the cathedral because it's really unusual, this place. And if we just pop up here a second, I'm just taking you up here because I just want to show you. And look at that. Oh, it's just beautiful, isn't it, really? I mean, it's quite reminiscent of our villa out in Madeira, although it's not as big. Ours is a bit bigger and it's got more floors. Obviously, you know, we need servants' quarters, etc. But it's beautiful, isn't it? So we're going to just head round the corner down here. So I said Colón, and it's the house of Columbus. So we're used to knowing the man himself is Christopher Columbus, but his Genoan name, okay, was Cristoforo Colombo. Colombo as in the investigator, played by Peter Falk. Spanish name, though, was Cristobal Colón. Okay, so that's why you see Colón or Colón written everywhere. This archway here, by the way, you notice the you've got dark rock or dark stone around the windows, and there's a lighter stone around here. So if we just go have a look a minute. You might notice it's a little bit different. So this is completely different rock. This is basically dug out of the harbour. Okay, so this is basically like limestone. And you can see all the little shells, because limestone is made out of compressed shells of creatures. You know that. But the dark stuff here, that's all volcanic rock. Okay, because these islands, of course, were volcanic. That's why they're here. And so ash and pumice are sort of like compressed together. So everywhere you see this black rock, you know it's volcanic rock. This is the queue, by the way, so if you're coming here, and I do suggest it's worth it. It's not much, actually. It's €4, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was €4. Well worth having a look inside. It's open 10 a.m. till 6. That's most days. Sundays, I think it closes early, 3 p.m. Pretty sure. Now, isn't that a pretty square? That's beautiful, isn't it? I'm glad we've got it actually when it's not too busy, because normally you come down here, there's loads of people. So that church is quite famous. It's the Church of San Antonio Abad. So it's said that Christopher Columbus prayed here before sailing to Americas. What was he praying for? Who knows? I'd like to think it was good weather. I'd like to think it was, finding what he was looking for. This area, by the way, this particular little bit we're walking through right now is the heart of the city. Okay, this is the first part of the city. It's called Real de Las Palmas, and there's a plaque just behind us. We'll turn around in a second. I just want to show you this coffee shop down here. Cool Beans Coffee. Good coffee. Of course, we have to talk about coffee, don't we? Let's just navigate these palm trees. There's the plaque I was talking about. So you see it was founded 1478. And currently, so Las Palmas here is the capital of the Canary Islands, but it's shared, okay, unusually it's shared with Santa Cruz in Tenerife. Okay, so Las Palmas is the capital of a number of the islands, and then Santa Cruz of the remaining. Back past the entrance again. Gran Canaria, so if you've been here, you know it's closer to Africa than Europe. We're only 93 miles off the African coast. And this one, Gran Canaria, you look on the map, it's the third largest of the Canary Islands. Gran Canaria, where does it get its name? Is it anything to do with canaries? No, it's not. Well, there's a lot of yellow around. You don't find that many canaries. No, it's not about canaries. So actually, it's gets its name from the North African Canary people. Okay, and it's thought that they arrived here, what, like 2,500 years ago? There's the cathedral again. Give it a little wave. So the Spanish came here and they finally conquered the island in 1483. Bearing in mind, it wasn't that quick though. It'd taken like 100 years or something of different attacks and landings to finally take all the islands here. So the original people here, you'll often see Guanche and you'll see Canary, okay, if you come to the Canary Islands. And they're not exactly the same people. So the Canary people really refers to the eastern islands, okay, and that includes Gran Canaria, Lanzarote, and Fuerteventura. The Guanche people, well, that really refers to the people that basically inhabited Tenerife, Palma, La Gomera, and El Hierro. But pretty much both those populations originally came from North Africa. It used to be said that people thought perhaps, Gran Canaria, it comes from the word canis, or like basically canine. Okay, and did it refer to lots of dogs on the islands? But apparently, when the Spanish came, there weren't any dogs. So any dogs you see now have been imported. Is anything left of the Canary people? Well, there's, some of the Canarian Spanish. There's a few words. Oh, this is quite nice here. Let me just see if I can get a good shot. Showing you the inside of the cathedral. Probably not going to go in today. Oh yeah, and also, so if you ever go to La Gomera, you'll hear about this weird whistling language that they've got called Silbo. And apparently that's a hangover too from the Canary people. Why would you whistle as a language? Well, actually it travels very far, the whistle sound, and so people would whistle across the valleys, etc. So this, Plaza de Santa Ana, was the first planned main square in Spain. And it's a World Heritage Site, a UNESCO Heritage Site. And the architecture, if you're into that sort of thing, very much a mix. It's a Spanish Moorish, and then from the 19th century, got a lot more modern Art Nouveau. Okay, lots of colour and vibrancy. Art Nouveau, well, new art was used. What differences? There was lots of natural organic shapes and forms, like plants and so on. And they used a lot of modern materials like glass and iron, ceramics. Let's just turn back here a second. Look at the cathedral. Now right up at the top, just above that circular window, summer solstice, the sun sits in that middle arch in that window. Now, something was different about this. Basically, the altar doesn't face east. It actually faces northeast. And that's probably because, going back to the pre-Hispanic traditions that were here, like sun worshippers. So this is interesting, and I had to look this up. Why do altars face east? Okay. So apparently in the Gospel of Matthew it says, "As the lightning comes from the east and shines as far as the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man." Basically means that the second coming of Christ will be from the east, so that's where we need to look. Ah, by the way, here these green bronze statues again here because of that, canary link. Hello, boy. So also, since remember that early Christians faced east as they prayed. Now I think that comes from the Jewish custom of facing Jerusalem. And also the whole thing with the rising sun. The rising sun symbolises Christ as the true light. That building at the end, by the way, used to be the town hall. Pretty impressive, isn't it? It's now the Tourist Information Office. Get little concerts here, so we were here just the other night. There's a lovely concert here. It's such a nice place to hang out. And that building over there, again, you can see the Art Nouveau style, the round windows, etc., the ironwork. I think that's the house of the Manrique de Lara sisters. So it's, I think that's the one. So, famous architect Fernando Navarro. That's right, he was so good they named him twice. Yep, that's one of his masterpieces. We get a close up and have a look, just some of the more organic looking stonework. See all those shapes? Very recognisably Art Nouveau. I'm not an architect, I'm not an art historian. I can appreciate something that looks nice. I'm going to head up this way a bit because I just want to show you a couple of things up this way. Well, this is such a nice part of town, isn't it? And so many people miss it. Just stay down south, Las Palmas or Playa del Inglés. This is the best bit. So here we come out to Plaza del Espíritu Santo, which I guess is Holy Spirit, Spanish. You'll see in the guidebooks talk a lot about this particular fountain. It may not look much to you, but pretty much it's the only, or one of the few covered fountains in the country. But look at the trees, there's a mixture, all different trees here. You've got some dragon trees, you've got some monkey trees here. And there's symbols really of the Canary Islands and the Americas, America. And again, why? Because there's that importance of like Columbus, and this is on part of the trade route. Ships from Europe you have to track down to here to get the trade winds to head off to America. Of course, as we'll find out later, Columbus didn't know anything about America. In fact, he wasn't going to America, and he never thought he found America. We'll learn a bit more about that. We'll also learn a little bit more, just what a bit of a cock-up he made, and that's to put it bluntly. So these are pretty hot, by the way, just to let you know. Las Palmas here, so it's quite a hot desert climate. January, so you come in sort of like December, January, which is when we're here, around about 19 to 23 degrees. So a very popular destination, isn't it, for the winter. Summer, yeah, I can get up to like 27, 30. So the Canary Islands, very popular all year round. Big chunk of the population live here in Las Palmas. Not surprisingly, about half the population live here. Look at that. Could definitely live here. If it wasn't for our vast villa that we've got on Madeira, well, who knows, or maybe we will. So we've got to do something with all our YouTube profits. So I'm taking you up here for a couple of reasons. One is to show you a fantastic view. Famous view. It's the barrio of San Nicolas. You might not recognise that name, but probably when you'll see it, you see, oh, I've seen pictures of that. Also, because we were staying up here, staying in a little Airbnb just up here, so it's really close to the centre. Now, if you do actually want to have a little look around our Airbnb, or there's a few shots of it, if you dig up our video on Gran Canaria to London, like the travel, the journey, okay, we do a little vlog about that. Starts off, do a bit of filming in our Airbnb, so have a look. It's really nice. We all like to have a little mooch, don't we, around hotel rooms, house tours. So, just going to show you over here. Look at that. Now, maybe you recognise it, maybe you don't. All the multicoloured houses up there. Right, it doesn't help at the minute because I've got the big tree in the way. But you get the idea. It's pretty good. That was our view. Pretty good place to stay. So I mentioned Christopher Columbus quite a few times now. So he arrived in 1492 on his first trip to the Americas. And he made several trips, as you'll gather. And he stopped here to basically make repairs. He had to repair the rudder on his ship, Pinta. Pinta means the painted one. Some people also interpret that painted one to also mean prostitute. Another possible meaning of Pinta. Anyway, his other two ships were the Nina and Santa Maria. He's not, though, the only big famous visitor here that at least us in the UK would know. Francis Drake. Oh yes. So just over 100 years later, in 1595, Sir Francis Drake, although he wasn't then, well, he turned up, tried to conquer the city. He thought, you know what, I'm going to have an easy fight here, and then I can just stay and resupply. But he was forced to withdraw. So Drake, famous for a number of things. So he was the first British person to circumnavigate the world. Now, obviously, he's not the first person to do that. So Ferdinand Magellan, Portuguese sailor, did that 55 years earlier. I can't believe it, 55 years it took us to actually get our finger out. Anyway, that's what happened. But Drake Well, yes, he was an explorer. But did you know he was engaged in early English slave shipping? That's right, dealt in slaves. And he was knighted by the Queen Elizabeth I. The Spanish got right pissed off at that, basically, because they considered him a pirate, which of course they probably would, because he preyed on their ships. Famously, he fought the Spanish Armada in 1588, and that's when the Armada sailed up the Channel with the aim to overthrow Elizabeth I. Didn't work out, as we know. Britain would be quite a different country if it did work. Some of you might be asking, where is Yvonne? Well, she's right behind me. I won't turn the camera. She's right behind me. She's actually pushing the trolley that I'm in at the minute. We've had to deaden the wheels, so it's nice and soft. But yeah, so we've got so much equipment here, batteries, etc. Plus also, to be honest, it's very hard to do two things, like to walk and talk. Yeah. Pretty hard going. Oops. Oh, nearly got her in shot there. You're right. Yeah, so anyway, she's there, she's pushing, working hard. And don't worry, take good care of her, she will be fed later. We're coming back down to Plaza del Cortado. Cortado, a small Spanish coffee, it also means cut, I believe, doesn't it? So, not quite sure why they've chosen that name. One thing I just really love though is just the colours of the buildings. I also really love the babble voices. I mean, I speak a little bit of Spanish, but not enough that I know what everyone's saying. I'll tell you what, that is fantastic. How nice it is to sit somewhere and not get sucked into people's conversations, going, oh, what did they say? It's a little bit different than the UK. I'm passable at English, and so I can understand everything that's said around me. And sometimes you don't want to listen in on conversations, you just want to read or something, but you just get caught up in someone's loud voice, don't you? So when you come to a country where you're not quite fully fluent in the language, it's really quite nice, actually. People can be talking about you, they can be talking about anything. And it's just like, it's just nice. Now we're going to make our way down to the market. Okay, there's a market hall, Mercado de Vegueta. That's where we're heading. It's a long way round. Again, all these streets are beautiful, aren't they? So a couple more things about Las Palmas. It's actually got 4 city beaches. The biggest, and maybe you've seen it on one of our other videos, is Las Canteras. Las Canteras means the quarries. Now the beach is sheltered from most of the waves and the currents of the Atlantic. There's a natural barrier there, and it's made of coral and sandstone. People know it as the Bar. It's a great place to be along there, by the way, on New Year's, okay, because that's where all the fireworks happen. Here is Plaza de San Agustin, and this is where the court is, I think. talk then about the man himself, Christopher Columbus. Now, if you're from the US, you probably already know that, people's thoughts about Christopher Columbus have changed in recent years. Not quite so venerated as it used to be. Columbus, when he set sail, he wasn't aiming for the Americas because they weren't known. He set sail to Asia. Now, before 1453, it wasn't necessary, okay, because basically you had the Silk Road, all right? So, if you want to go to Asia, you just went overland. However, what happened is when the Ottoman Turks took Constantinople, they basically forbade any of the Christian traders. So so now the Christians had to find another route. So interestingly, he always thought, even when he landed, that he had reached Asia. He wasn't much of an explorer, but he was a good plotter, a good planner. Columbus made in total, I think it was 4 trips to the Americas. But did you know he never actually set foot on mainland North America? No, it's true, didn't. A couple of things about him, shall we talk about him now? So, there was a reward of gold, okay, for the first sailor who spied land. Now, it was actually Rodrigo de Triana who saw the Bahamas first, land. But Columbus didn't pay up. He said, oh no, the night before I actually saw a hazy bit of light. Oh no, I saw it first. Oh yeah. And that was San Salvador. Let's head down here. This is lovely. Oh, we had coffee just here. Was it yesterday? Yeah. Nice place to sit. So Columbus then, he governed when he set land. Really didn't make it a good governor. He was immensely cruel, and he committed such violence on people. So he enslaved thousands, including children, actually, to work the gold mines, because that's what he thought. It's like, oh, right, we're here. It's got to be gold. And I want to send gold back. In fact, set an order. 10,000 of the Taínos people. So basically, if they failed to meet their gold quotas, right, they would have their hands cut off. Oh, very nice man, is he? Oh, here, by the way, El Mono Curioso, curious monkey. Well known, Thursday night is pincho night. You get a small portion of food on bread, generally held together with a bit of, a toothpick. And it's meant to be eaten with a drink. Really popular, okay? So Thursday nights, so you come down, if you want a good atmosphere, it's a good place to come. Yes, Columbus, what else did he do? Well, he was cruel. His punishments were horrific. He'd cut off ears, noses, legs. So the population here has really just got cut through with violence, forced labour and disease. Basically genocide, really. And it's believed that up to 50,000, right, 50,000 committed suicide rather than live under his rule. Horrific things. He'd hunt the Taínos people for sport, hunting dogs. Horrible stories of him gifting children, young female children, to his crew. Anyway, he was arrested and he was sent back in chains. Which I think is the least that could have happened to him. So yes, you might find the old stories of the fearless explorer and his noble crew didn't quite sound so polished anymore. So here then, this is the market, Mercado de Vegueta. I guess this is probably where we're going to stop. I just want you to have a look back where we came. So Las Palmas. Thanks for joining us. Until the next one.